Okay, so this video then is on the different parts of a circle, and I'm going to teach you all the vocabulary that you would need to use to describe circles. Part one of your homework. On part one of your homework, you need to draw the different parts of a circle on, and also you need to write the definitions for the different parts. So the first piece of vocabulary we're going to need to learn is circumference. And the circumference of a circle is the length around the outside of a circle. So it's kind of like perimeter. So the circumference is the length around the outside of a circle. And on your sheet, you can just highlight the outer edge of the circle. And that's circumference. Next, we're going to learn the diameter. So the diameter of a circle is a line that joins 2 points on the circumference. So if we imagine there's a point here and a point here, it's the line that joins those points and passes through the centre. Okay, so the diameter is a line that joins 2 points on the circumference and passes through the centre. The next piece of vocabulary we will learn is chord. Okay, now a chord is similar to the diameter, but it has a key difference. A chord joins 2 points on the circumference, but it doesn't pass through the centre. Okay, so this line, because it passes through the centre, we call it the diameter. Now this line, because it doesn't pass through the centre, we call it a chord. Okay, so that's the next piece of vocabulary. I'm just going to rub out this red line. The next thing you need to know is an arc. Okay, now an arc is kind of related to a chord. So we have this chord here drawn in red. Now an arc is a line that goes along the circumference and joins 2 points on the circumference. So the chord passes through the circle but not passing through the centre, and an arc joins 2 points on the circumference but along the curved edge. Okay, so you need to be drawing all of these on your diagrams and also writing out the definitions. So far we have circumference, which is the length around the outside of a circle, the diameter, which is a line that passes through the centre of a circle and joins 2 points on the circumference. A chord is a line that joins 2 points on the circumference but doesn't pass through the centre, and an arc joins 2 points on the circumference but passes along the curved edge. The next piece of vocabulary we're going to need to learn is radius. Now if I've got this circle here and this is the centre of my circle, the radius of a circle is a line that goes from the centre to a point on the circumference. So here I've drawn the radius of a circle because it goes from the centre to a point on the circumference, and we would call this a radius. Now I can draw lots of different radii on this circle. So here's another one, a line that joins the centre to the circumference, and here's another one, and here's another one, and so on. And the plural of radius is radii. Okay, with 2 i's on the end. So that's what the radius is. The next piece of vocabulary we'll need to learn then is sector. So I'm going to rub out what I've done here. Here we go. And I'm going to show you what a sector is. So if I've got my centre of my circle here and I've got 2 radii, so I've got one here and one here. Okay. Now a sector is the area contained within 2 radii on a circle. Okay, so I've highlighted this sector here in orange. Sector. Okay, that's a sector. So it's the area in between 2 radii. That's a sector. Now the last thing we need to learn then is segment. So I'm going to go on a new diagram. And what I'm going to do is draw myself a chord. So here I've got 2 points on the circumference and a line that joins them up. That's a chord. And then I've also got myself an arc, because if I join this point to this point along the curved edge, oops, let me do that a bit neater, along the curved edge, I've got an arc. Now, a segment is the area contained within an arc and a chord. So this orange area here is called a segment, and it's the area in between an arc and a chord, and that's called a segment. Okay, so that's, we've got one more piece of vocabulary we need to learn, sorry, I thought we were done. So far we've done radius, diameter, circumference, chord, arcs, sectors and segments. The last thing we need to learn is tangent. Okay, so here I've got myself a clean new circle and I'm going to draw myself a radius. So here we go, I've got myself a radius there in red. The radius joins the centre of the circle to a point on the circumference. Now a tangent, I'm going to draw this in green, is a line that just touches one point on a circle. So it just touches the circle here. It's a straight line and it meets the circle at 90 degrees to the radius, okay? And we call that a tangent. So the tangent is a line that touches the circle at 90 degrees to the radius. And that's all of our vocabulary that we need to learn. So have a go at the first page of your homework and make sure you've got in the definitions and diagrams.